Back in 2005, Adobe decided to release a program that would very soon drastically change the internet. And yes, I am talking about Flash. Now yes, there were programs leading up to Flash, some examples being Futurewave and Macromedia, but Flash was the one that really changed the internet for the better. One of its earliest examples is YouTube, which used Flash Player up until the early 2010s, where YouTube swapped it out for its new HTML5 video. Now it wasn't just made for playing videos, Flash could almost do anything, and it caught people's attention really quickly. It could be used for games, displaying content on a web page, or even be used for animation, so people saw it could do a lot and just kept growing. There are even some sites that still use Flash to this day, including Vimeo, Crunchyroll, and thousands of others which usually rely on Flash to do its main function like video streaming. Now I can go on for a while about how generally lots of sites depend on Flash, but I feel as if I should point out some of the key ones that many people know of and love. Probably one of the sites that got many people to where they are today is Newgrounds, a hub for games, animation, forums, art. Many people use this site to start their careers in animation and game design. An example is Aaron Hansen, aka Egoraptor, who is also known as one of the hosts of Game Grumps and The Grumps on YouTube. Some people know him because of his animations, which are on YouTube, but started back on Newgrounds where they gained popularity, which then he proceeded to make more and upload them to YouTube. Now, most of the time, people made Flash games as a passion, not just for the money. I mean, there wasn't really a lot of ways to make money, but a lot of people made really good games that we all love just for fun and haven't made any money off of it. Probably the site most people remember though is Cool Math Games. If you were ever in school and had access to a computer with free time, you know you're hopping on a Cool Math Games, unless it was blocked, which most schools seem to do nowadays. But I remember in primary school I would go on a Cool Math Games, and most of the time I would specifically play Run 2, which was and still is my favorite whenever I was in the library or done with my work. One thing that is interesting about Cool Math Games is that it has a random button where you can click it and it takes you to a random game, which is cool because every game was unique, which could make every Cool Math Game session different, and you could find a new game that you love. Now, almost everyone probably remembers playing Flash games years ago, but who really plays the games today? Now, everyone probably remembers playing Cool Math Games in school or in the library because you had nothing else to do. Today, kids have way more things to do, like everyone seems to have a phone, so mobile games have taken over Flash games to the point where kids today won't get the same experiences we did. Now, a key feature that almost every Flash game had was great music. Most of the music can definitely be nostalgic for me when I remember playing the game, but each game has its own special music that could be remembered. Now, besides mobile games, today's version of Flash games is technically IO games, because after the craze of Cool Math Games, I remember there being waves of online multiplayer games being released. Now, most of them were made in HTML5, not Flash, but HTML5 is what most sites are replacing Flash with, so it makes sense that I mention IO games even if it's brief. Now, I would like to introduce my new segment where I talk about specific games, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, there seems to be too many good Flash games to count, so I've narrowed it down to 3 specific good ones. The first is Shopping Cart Hero and the games that are just like it. The basic objective of this game is to fly the farthest in your shopping cart after launching off a hill, and every time you get money for the distance that you go. Then you use that money to upgrade your shopping cart, and then the cycle repeats until you have unlocked everything. Now, this isn't just Shopping Cart Hero. There's many games that have the same objective, and they're actually really fun to play. While to someone who hasn't played them, it might seem weird or boring since all it does is repeat, I personally think it's a lot of fun. Now, the second good game is Fancy Pants Adventure, which is a side-scrolling parkour type game where you progress through levels, doing cool tricks to beat enemies, and after those levels you fight bosses. Now, this game out of all the Flash games probably had the most work put into it, and it ended up being so good that it was turned into an Xbox 360 game and even a Steam game. Now, both versions cost $10, but the PC game adds a bunch more content, and you can't already play it on Xbox, so it makes sense that it would cost money on Xbox. Now, the last main game in the good segment is Run 2, which I mentioned earlier. Now, you might ask, why Run 2 specifically? Well, I personally have the most memories with Run 2, and I feel like it's the best out of the 3. The first run I feel is too basic, and it can get boring, and then 3 has worlds and levels that split, so there's different paths of levels to do to unlock stuff like characters. I just feel it's too much. Run 2 is in the middle, and it has the basic runner and the skater, which is more for experienced players. Run 2 also has many levels to play on, which there are extras that can be unlocked by collecting the special coin in each level. There isn't really much else to say, I just feel like Run 2 is the best out of the three. Now we go on to the next segment, which will definitely be shorter because it's actually hard to find bad Flash games. Now, I can't really point out any specifics, but what instantly came to mind was websites that offer free games which have loads of poorly made Flash games which try to copy the success of Cool Math Games or other sites. Sometimes these sites do attract some attention from a younger audience just because they use characters that kids love, and when they see them, they'll just click on the website and they're like, oh, free games! But the websites are super sketchy with loads of ads that can lead to kids downloading malware, and also they have really bad Flash games. And when you compare those games to ones on Cool Math as an example, they're really the bargain bin option. And the thing is that all Flash games are free, so there's no point in even playing the bargain bin ones. Now when you think of ugly games, you probably think of the ones in the bad section, which usually have really bad or stolen art, which is true, but what I really want to point out is copies of games, which are normal games made into Flash games so they can be played in a browser. Now specifically, I'm going to talk about Mario clones, which yes, this section is called ugly, but not all of them are that ugly. They usually just use the same sprites, which can be a key point to put them in this section because it's just the Mario sprites, but the sprites also just look like Mario, which can be good. But with every Mario clone, which adds a good twist to the game, there's many, many bad Mario clones that just try to rip off Mario's success. Now since this video is so long, here's some honorable mentions of games that I didn't even get to mention. Now one reason this video is remotely relevant is because Adobe Flash is shutting down on December 31st, 2020, which is very sad because almost everyone has memories that have to do with Flash and many sites depend on it. And many people are sad, but what a lot of people don't get is that everything that uses Flash is not just going to disappear. Flash is getting fully replaced by HTML5. Now again, this is still sad with the memories and all, but we really have nothing to worry about unless a Flash game isn't updated and ready for the change, which means most of the games will still be playable, but there's a slight chance a game that you will like will be gone if it's not updated by the creator. Also, right before the video ends, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I've been working on this video a lot, and I really hope you guys enjoy it, as I just said. And I just wanted to thank all of you for all the support I've been getting recently. I literally just hit 106 subs. When I posted my last video, I had 100, so I gotta do something for 100 subs. But I keep growing, and I want to thank all of you, so I hope to see you guys again.